Good morning, everyone. It is with the greatest pleasure that we welcome our esteemed speaker, attendees, and students. Before we begin today's session, I would request all students to switch on their video camera and keep their mic on mute. Faculty members and coordinators are requested to please ensure the student cameras are on at all times. At the end of the session, we will be having a Q&A where our speaker will be happy to address student questions pertaining to today's topic. In today's session, we will learn about corporate social responsibility, drive progressive change. You must be wondering as to why corporate social responsibility is significant. Corporate social responsibility is becoming more and more important in businesses. This is seen in the rise of businesses adopting sustainability plans and lowering their carbon footprints. These initiatives frequently include proactively addressing environmental, social, and governance issues through due diligence procedures, interacting with stakeholders in open discussions, and putting in place programs to enhance employee well-being. As a part of the IBCP program, service learning is one of the core components that provides us a platform to serve the community. We hope that after this session, you are also able to come up with more ideas for your service learning projects. To help us understand the concept of CSR better, we have with us Ms. Smriti Kasulwar, Vice President, Salam Bombay Foundation. She comes with demonstrated experience of more than a decade in human resource and management that spans startups and established organizations in both the corporate as well as development sector. A result-oriented professional, Ms. Smriti comes equipped with extensive hands-on experience leading HR initiatives including change management, policy design, performance management, recruiting, compliance, reporting, training, and development. We welcome you with the warmest greetings today, ma'am. And before we get started with the session, we are going to start by launching the first poll for today. Students, we would like all of you to participate in the upcoming poll. We'll wait for a minute or two more. In the meanwhile, let me read out the poll question. The first question is there a law governing CSR? Now, most of you say yes, a few of you said no, and many are not aware. So let's take and give over the reins to Smriti ma'am.
Hi. Thank you for the introduction. Should I share the results?
I've just shared it.
Okay.
Over to you, ma'am.
Yeah. Hi, welcome everyone. Hopefully by the end of this session, we'll have more socially aware students driving this change ahead. Okay, so we've already know that we are going to talk about CSR today. So what is CSR? We all know the full form. It's corporate social responsibility, right? And by definition, CSR is the continuing commitment by business to behave ethically and contribute to economic development while improving the quality of life of the workforce and their families, as well as the local community and society at large. So usually, like we say, at a basic level, if we talk about, we have maids at home. When we hire them, we also ensure, if there's something health-wise that is not going right, we support them with medication, their families, the education of their students. At large, corporates are supposed to do that because they are benefiting by doing business in a certain area in the society, in the community at large. So the keywords here are ethically contributing to the development of the society at large, right? So if we can launch the second poll, Dilshad. So basically, like you, a few of you all are aware that CSR, yes, there is a law governing, and we have a CSR law. This was answer to the first question, and Companies Act has made that as a law. And the percentage of a net profit of companies is 2%. That is mandated to be contributed towards CSR, which is a net profit accumulated over 3 years. So that's the answer. Now, what are the different dimensions of CSR? If you know, CSR is the terminology that came into practice later. But initially, during our grandparents or before them, the term used was philanthropy, right? The evolution of CSR comes from philanthropy. And philanthropy is doing good for others without any expectations, right? When in the earlier days, you may have seen people used to donate for a good cause without it being a law. Just that later, after going through various stages of evolution, it has now become a law, whereas 2% is mandated. That is for corporates out of their profit. But this is minimum of 2%. It can go to maximum any percentage that the corporates want to donate. But the philanthropy still continues because above 2%, it is still not mandated, right? But corporates do donate more above that. Plus, anybody in the society can donate. So now the dimensions of CSR, first being ethical, and these are all intertwined. It's not mutually exclusive. Ethical, that is about being a responsible citizen, because like we said, we are operating in the country, within the society. So the obligation is to do what is right and fair and just, right? Then philanthropy, like I explained, it is something which is out of choice. So about the 2% is all up to choice. Plus, people who are not profitable to the extent that has been outlined in the guidelines can also donate. Then it is a legality, which I've already explained to you, 2%, but also it should be intertwined with ethical practices, right? All illegal practices do not come with it. And we have to abide by society's law, the country's law. So it comes under the legality. About the economic. So unless you're profitable, you will not donate, right? So running your organization or factory or the setup in a manner which generates enough profit to be able to benefit to the society. There's other thing also, because there's employment generation over and above everything else. This also does count as a contribution to the society, because you are generating enough employment for people to work in your organization. So can we have the next poll question?
I've shared the results with you.
Okay. Yeah. So can the 23% who've answered it as sorry, yeah. Can you name a few SDGs in the chat? Is the chat open for them?
Yes, ma'am. Students can chat.
Yeah.
So
I
we
think
have
somebody
Aryan
did
telling
mention.
us, Aryan Barthakur tells us zero hunger.
Okay. Yeah, that's right.
Come on, students, please engage in the chat box. Arnav
Okay.
says ending poverty.
Okay. So fine. We'll go on to the next one, quality education. Gender equality. Good health and well-being. Clean water and sanitation, environmental safety. Okay. So sustainable cities and community. Okay, so in all we have 17 sustainable development goals, right? So the history behind this is in 2015 or so, UN outlined or defined these 17 sustainable goals, and the target is 2030, not to achieve totality of, when we say no poverty or zero hunger, we may not be able to reach the extreme desired level by 2030, but at least where we are is what we'll be able to see. So these are the 17 sustainable development goals that we can see here. No poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, affordable and clean energy, decent work and economic growth, industries, innovation and infrastructure, reduced inequalities, sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production, climate action, life below water, life on land, peace, justice, and strong institutions, partnerships for the goals. So we enjoy a lot of it. I think we are privileged where we have the facility to enjoy it, but here it is about having these equally accessible to everybody, right? So this is what it is about. Now, what is sustainability to you? Could anybody put it on chat? What is sustainability? No one?
In your opinion, students, tell ma'am what do you know about sustainability? Yes, so we have a few answers, ma'am.
You ensure you don't, to keep natural resources available to future generations, to ensure you don't harm the environment and use resources in a balanced fashion as resources are scarce. Sustainability consists of fulfilling the needs of current generation without compromising the needs of future generation, using resources responsibly to save it for the future. Right. So everybody is right in how they've defined it. Now, when we club, this is with regards to sustainable development goals, right? So because we want our future generation also to experience what we've seen. Otherwise, also like clean climate, or we all will be roaming around with oxygen masks in a couple of years if we don't keep the nature the way it was earlier. So in other terms, for CSR, when the corporates engage with NGOs or support NGOs, there's a sustainability in terms of work that they're looking at, right? Means in simple terms, it's like, yeah, somebody has mentioned one more. The definition is meeting the requirements of the present without compromising the needs of the future, and ensuring a balance between economic growth, environmental protection, and social well-being. Yeah, very correctly said. Now, in terms of the NGO work, when we talk about being sustainable, is again to make somebody independent. So instead of providing fish every day, you teach someone to fishing, right? But if for that, you will then give them a fishing rod, you will give them training and development for them to keep it sustainable, so that every time somebody else is not supporting them, right? So that is from the perspective of keeping it for the NGOs, making them independent, and when the NGOs work with the community, right? So you may have seen at various locations, like Goonj is one of the NGOs. It doesn't just provide for food and clothing when it works in remote areas. What it does is it gives kind of an opportunity, like you build something here, or plant these many trees, then we'll provide you these clothing for the family. And this is all by donation, but because they're actually making them independent to set up things in the remote villages for them to operate in the future, because the NGO cannot continuously be doing that always. Sorry, won't that be unsustainable because the common resource pools would decline? Sorry, I did not get your question. Okay. Yeah. So next, what are the benefits of CSR? So now these are the benefits for the corporates, right, who are doing CSR. Here it is attracting, retaining, and maintaining a happy workforce, because everybody does work in a corporate. Obviously, it pays well, and there are different initiatives, and you can utilize your skill sets. But obviously, there is a different need where you also want to volunteer and engage. But the work-life balance is also important, but you don't get enough time now to go and volunteer only on weekends. So corporates have a lot of volunteer engagement programs with NGOs, wherein this facility is available during working hours. So it keeps the workforce also happy, right? And enhance relationship with stakeholders. This is also put on their annual reports. So their stakeholders also know what they're doing, and this builds a good rapport. Yeah, winning new beneficiaries. When they read about what the initiatives are, obviously you have more people getting involved, and the more trust is built, enhancing your influence in the industry. Again, around, so it's word of mouth, it's the PR that helps get more business and more people here, which leads to more funding opportunities, media, and reputation. So when we all think about good CSR, or a citizen who's actually very responsible or doing a lot of things, the first person comes to our mind is Mr. Ratan Tata. The number of initiatives that Tata Group is involved in, we all know the things that are spoken about, the good CSR that Tata Group is doing, right? So that is where it all leads to. Increase in customer retention. Obviously, when we know that the corporate is playing a vital part in society's development, also customers also, it's a repeat customer for them, right? Saving money and energy cost. So again, when you have more number of customers, it increases their profit, and it leads to a lot of other savings as well. Differentiating, so it's a differentiating between the competitors and self, right? Okay, can anyone list down benefits that are there for the society due to CSR?
Requesting all students to kindly switch on their cameras as well as answer ma'am in the chat box. Aryan says cleaner environment, the merit goods would be accessible to the lower society sector. Then we have Arnav saying it will support the local community.
Right. Okay.
Come on, students. Yes.
Yeah, so just a few examples of how it benefits the society. Like we mentioned, right? Tata Group has a lot of hospitals, research centers, educational institutes. They also give a lot of scholarships in rural development, and many such things is where Tata is involved in, right? So this is the benefit for the society. Lower income groups who cannot afford the kind of treatment or education is being provided by the initiatives that Tata Group is associated with. Same with CAT. Since now CAT, we all know, is related to CAT tires, right? So the work that they do, they try and help the people involved in their work. So all that they've done, Netranjali was one of the campaigns that they had launched, wherein there were eye testing camps, then there were these cataract surgeries, and a lot of health initiatives that were undertaken under the CAT's Netranjali campaign. Then there road safety, healthcare, livelihood training, again, because it's wanting to give more jobs and create that base who's independent and working professionals, right? In different sectors. Education is also one of the key roles that are played. Ambuja Cement, again, healthcare, rural development. They have many educational institutes in rural parts of India, wherein they also have skill development, livelihood centers, art and culture is promoted. So these are some of the initiatives by some of the corporates that I've named. There are many more and are doing a lot in various sectors, right? I think somebody's also written helps in promoting a positive brand image of the companies. Yes, that is for the companies for sure. But for individuals, also the beneficiaries, that is for the group. These are at large for the society and how it helps. These are some of the examples. Okay. So now I'll talk a little bit about Salam Bombay Foundation, the NGO I work for. So in Salam Bombay Foundation, our motto is a child in school has a future, right? So what is the reality of the child in BMC schools in Mumbai? Right? Here we know that there are various reasons for which the child drops out of school and does not complete education. So there's low income is one of the reasons because of which they drop out and start supporting their family with whatever they earn, which is leading to child labor as well. Then there's no exposure. They do not have enough exposure in school, which makes it pretty boring for them because there are not many activities like there are in other schools. Then there's again inequality, unhealthy practices, and there is addiction, so substance abuse. And it starts from tobacco, wherein from the 5th grade or even earlier, because they see this in their society, in their community, they've started trying it out, and that becomes an addiction. Also, because there's lack of education, they are not aware of the myths of tobacco. So it's also given to a small child because they say that it kills the hunger. It's a hunger suppressant. So tobacco is fed so that when the mother is going out for the work, the child doesn't cry for food. So these are a lot of myths, and Salam Bombay tried and answered, these are the triggers. So how to make this work for the schools so that they can retain the children in school, right? Not sure if this is legible to everyone, but yeah, when we talk about addiction and unhealthy practices, we have a preventive health program which runs in or more than 350 BMC schools in Mumbai. Then there are additional in Navi Mumbai and some in Pune and Jaipur and Calcutta. So preventive health program works on 3 things. One is Super Army, which is helping them develop leadership skills, right? So there are life skills that are developed, leadership skills, refusal skills, so that they can handle peer pressure and not get into anything which is not good for them. And tobacco control is a program wherein they are part of the awareness as well as advocacy of the ill effects of tobacco, and tobacco being the first step of addiction, which can lead to other substance abuses. Here is where we try and stop. There is also a tobacco cessation program for students who are already into use of tobacco. So there's a counseling that happens, one-on-one group counseling, parent counseling, wherein these students are helped to quit the habit of tobacco. Then there's a nutrition program. Like I said some time ago, we can't be providing, obviously we know that khichdi is provided, it's a free meal for all BMC school students. But we can't be doing that since it's already happening. But what our nutrition program, which is Khana, does is we teach them the nutritive values of things that are affordable and in their house. And means when we've done research with Harvard and others, it was quite clear that they miss their breakfast, which is the most important part of the meal. So how getting them into these good habits, and we've also engaged this with community programs involving the mothers in the house, and this is quite a success. It's helped us, and the research will show that in the future. Then we have Media Academy, Sports Academy, Skills at School. These are all done preschool or after school, and the preventive health is in school program, wherein we have permission to take one of the classes of the school to conduct these programs, and the others are to make, give them opportunities and exposure to areas wherein they've not had exposure. So a lot of our students now are into photography, journalism, mass media, which earlier they only knew either doctor or an engineer, but various other fields where they may not be able to become a Sachin Tendulkar, but at least sports leads them to healthy habits, and fitness is what it's helping them in. There's arts, dance, there is music, there's creative arts, all of this, which is part of the school association that we have. And our trainers go and conduct these sessions with these students, right? Okay, vocational skills, wherein no income or low income was one of the reasons for students to drop out of school. What we've done is, where there are many who celebrate dropout because then they engage them into vocational skilling, at Salam Bombay, we have started this in school itself. So a mobile repair or a beautician, bakery, then there's robotics also, which is a part of it. These trainings are provided to students, and that's how, so that's how they can start their income while they are studying in school, right? So they do mobile repair in the weekends. They take some electrical work, like in Ganpati, just the lighting. Then there are other associations in bakery wherein they are allowed to intern with hospitality industry, and that's how they get an exposure. Plus, they get a stipend if this is during vacations. So they are not, and we ensure they do not drop out of school. And the school continuity is one of the most important criteria to enroll and continue the association. Yeah, so this is just about some of the Salam Bombay initiatives. And what are the outcomes? Like we said, leadership skills, life skills, vocational skills, broader career aspirations, livelihoods, and the exposure opportunities that they get is because once Kevin Peterson had organized cricket matches for the tournament for the NGO students, and Salam Bombay's kids represented India at an international level in Dubai. Some of our robotic kids last year went to Switzerland to participate in a international level competition, and they were amongst the top 5 in the, and it wasn't that all were not from NGOs, but this Salam Bombay's team from India was from the NGO sector. So the exposure opportunities are plenty. Now we'll just see one of the
SPF's calls made the students happy, made them feel connected and engaged.
Okay, so I'll just talk about this initiative that you see, which is Happy Minds calls. When we were all struggling during pandemic and when we had to start working from home, there were a lot of concerns because in the community, our students may not have access to a lot of things that we had to, but we were still so concerned and panicked, and there was a lot of uncertainty. So what we did was, this initiative was actually started by the HR team for the employees, wherein because there was a lot of uncertainty and people were, into a negative zone, what we started is we realized when we were talking to each other, it was far better. So this was at the very beginning of the lockdown. So wherein we started, each of us started calling all our employees, right, from office assistants to CXO positions, and we were asking how are they, how is everyone in the family, and just inquiring about if they need any help. We started a helpline for the organization, and then a lot of initiatives were started basis that. But because this had a lot of positive impact, then the team members said that we should also do this for students, our kids, because they are in a far more vulnerable state, because a lot of people had started going back to hometown and all of that. So we started this initiative. All of our employees started calling our students, and there were interactions with the family. There were small games that were played to keep them entertained. So this was part of a mental well-being session. This was very widely accepted and acknowledged. And if you'd seen, Dr. Vish from Harvard was somebody who was part of which is a research that we are doing on this basis, how students were at the time when we call them first, and at the time of the third Happy Minds call. So this led to a lot of positivity, and then these students in turn in the community also tried and kept that attitude going. So a lot of credit to the students for taking this initiative ahead, and the current research work on this is going on. Then the other initiative that we saw was of Dolphin Tank, which is similar to Shark Tank, but not, dolphins are a lot more nurturing and will not go for an attack. So the thought process was that these students, because now they are into a lot of skilling and they've started their earning, which is stipend or whatever, they've started their own ventures from home, which they do on weekends. So how we can support them in what they need. So this is in collaboration with NMIMS College, and there are a few donors who come in as dolphins, and they hear the pitch of students, and they are given financial literacy training. So the pitch is exactly how you see in Shark Tank, wherein they talk about these terminologies, technical jargons, although it will be in Hindi, but the terminologies are in English. And then if they have a right pitch and the donor is impressed, then they invest in their venture, and that's how it starts. So one of the examples of was one of our students who pitched not for her venture, but she pitched for a advanced course in beauty from an established makeup artist, which costed 60,000. So she's like, I will pay 20,000 from my end, 40,000 is to be, if she can raise, then she'll take up that course. And today it's been 2 years now, and she's really gone ahead in that stream. So some of these examples of how students are starting these initiatives and taking it on their own ahead has really helped Salam Bombay. So yes, since it was about driving the change, what are the ways that we can drive change? One, the most important is by being the change. And how can we do that? If you want to associate with an NGO, we'll have another video played wherein the events that are happening at Salam Bombay, and otherwise we can just talk about that. But yeah, there's a volunteering engagement program that you can engage in. There are various websites for all NGOs wherein you can register there for volunteering and associate, be it weekends or be it from home, or whatever number of time that you can, give to the cause, you can specify and the NGO will connect back with you. There's also opportunities of internships wherein during summer breaks or, just for every Saturday, these internships can be taken. And the last is after completion of education, you can join the NGO teams by taking up a job there. And these are some of the listed things. Otherwise, obviously, we have various ways of volunteering, even if not directly through an NGO, but you go on, participate in starting your own community for tree plantation drives, or there are various other initiatives that keep happening, and you can always sign up for that. Now, one thing I wanted to say is, yes, we have this session on corporate social responsibility, and which is very important because that is the larger part, but we should focus on individual social responsibility now. As an individual, how each of us can contribute to the betterment of the society and the country is what is needed. If everybody starts taking responsibility on our own, it wouldn't be a burden on somebody else to, continuously come and support. Everybody can start being very responsible and start contributing in their own ways. It may not just be monetarily, but even otherwise, like many of the schools, international schools and other schools who've been associated with Salam Bombay have conducted a lot of campaigns for fundraisers. One being We Concert. You'll see some of the videos wherein they've raised funds by whatever. So if somebody can sing well, somebody is dancing, someone has done a painting exhibition, someone was into baking and did a tasting kind of a thing with the society, and whatever have been earnings have been donated to Salam Bombay. One of the students had written a book and published and said, whatever are the earnings that she gets as an author will be donated for a cause. So there are various ways that these initiatives can be started, and maybe you can discuss within your school and have a smaller group and come with suggestions and ideas on how you would want to run these campaigns. A lot of schools have obviously have run for marathon as well, these students, and those funds raised were donated to an NGO, to Salam Bombay. Then there are these other campaigns and with reels and small videos that they uploaded and created a page on social media, which was then they raised funds, and then those funds were through Give India were donated for Salam Bombay. So these are some of the initiatives that have been conducted in the past. We can see a small video wherein these initiatives and events, you will see how they were conducted. Yeah.
Hold up. Premiumbeat.com.
Can we pause for a second? Yeah, so Power of Playground, what you saw was Little Masters Challenge. So many corporates had participated, and the winning team got to play at Brabon with our students who are also trained in cricket. So that was a CSR initiative of Investec or Ambuja Cements when they participated in these matches, and they donated a sign-up amount plus, had sponsorships involved. So that was one of the events. Yeah, you can play.
The kind of production value that Salam Bombay works for is very evident in the way the exhibition has been put together. Usually we don't find foundations or NGOs for that matter willing to put so much into production value. It was an amazing day and great interaction.
Wow, yeah. That is awesome.
I'm very, very, very happy. This is so pretty.
While I'm sure these are the cream of your perhaps base of people that you support, the fact is that it's thrown up such good people, which is what we would like to definitely support and encourage.
One word that I can summarize this was it was really fun. And I think the kids enjoying what they're doing. And I think that's the message.
सलाम बॉम्बे फाउंडेशन के वॉकेशन स्किलिंग स्टूडेंट ने कुछ प्रोजेक्ट बनाया है ताकि कोरोना वायरस फैलने के चांसेस बहुत कम हो जाए। ये सारे स्टूडेंट्स ने अपने ट्रेनर फनफेस्ट के साथ साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी का ट्रेनिंग लेकर ये सब सॉल्यूशंस बनाए हैं। चलो देखते हैं बच्चों ने मॉडल स्कूल कैसे बनाया है।
Sports is not just to win medals at the Olympics or anything. Sport is a medium through which we gain confidence.
Today is the real National Sports Day that we are celebrating because parents playing with their kids on the ground, coming over there and actually practicing is a very big thing.
जब एक मदर यहाँ पर आती है और वो जब खुद खेलती है, the way she feels, you know, it's so liberating.
Venues, one of the most unbelievable things about this entire experience. When you get on that stage, you realize that there are 3 levels of people, and the last row of people you can barely even see. It's incredible.
I'm always thrilled to be here at V because the range of talent that one is able to see is just incredible.
I've been a part of this wonderful V4 change, and it's absolutely fantastic.
This year it's even bigger and better. I feel like these kids are just growing better and better every year, and I'm so stunned but like so overwhelmed to be here today and to watch the performances because they were unbelievably amazing.
It's so great to have you all here. You're looking gorgeous as ever in your lockdown attire. Right here, right now, We is making a difference. I was left to my own device.
We can pause the video. So this is the V concert that I had spoken about, wherein these international school students, and later last year, since we had gone virtual, they were from various countries who participated in it. Basically, in V Concert, we have an opportunity to get these international school students to participate and perform with our BMC school students. So this is, kind of a knowledge exchange program wherein they interact, they work together, they practice together, and it is a very the highest fundraiser that we had, but also a lot of satisfaction on how the interactions go on and the feedback that we get from students on what they've achieved after it. So this is one of our highlight programs. We could stop the video. So now some of the things that we say about, just to conclude the thing about CSR, it's a win-win situation, right? For the corporates, for NGOs, for the community, for the beneficiaries, everybody involved, volunteers, employees, all of them. And the other thing of getting associated with cause, be it any NGO or any cause, or you do it directly, we've all heard about IQ for so long. Now we know EQ and SQ, emotional quotient, social quotient, and now the adversity quotient is also come into picture, wherein these things are enhanced far more and far better when you have these opportunities to go on the field, interact with the beneficiaries directly, or work for a cause. So I would definitely encourage every one of you to be associated with any cause that you feel for, and can at least volunteer or intern somewhere in your city or around your school, or in your schools if there are any initiatives taken. Yeah. Thank you. Dilshad, can we,
Yes, ma'am.
if there are any questions, we could have them on the chat.
Yes, surely. Firstly, I'd like to tell you that hats off to Salam Bombay Foundation for your initiatives, ma'am. I think you guys are doing a lot for the society at large, and I think all of us can learn something from the foundation. We'll be throwing the session open for question and answers. Does anyone want to have any questions, or do you have any doubts that you would like to ask, ma'am? Please feel free to use the chat box. Okay, you can even unmute yourself and ask a question if that would make more of a difference. So, ma'am, I've received one question. It says, as consumers of a product or service, do we as consumers play a very important role in a company's CSR initiatives?
Yeah, so it does. When if you had seen, I don't remember, was it Whisper or any other products wherein they had said that a certain percent, when you buy their product, this percent will go towards a cause for education or for girl child. So when you buy those kind of products, it does influence the market and their profit, and thereby the percentage of CSR that they go ahead and donate to a cause.
All right, ma'am. I hope that the question was answered, whoever asked that. We'll wait for a minute more, ma'am. For the students, I think a few are typing.
Oh.
We would even like to ask the students from our end, do you have any social projects that you are working at school and you would like to, tell ma'am more about the social projects you've been doing? Anyone? Okay, ma'am, we've received a question. So the child is asking, is CSR an ever-evolving sort of a field, and is it adapting to new needs? How do we know that?
So basically, like we said, CSR law is one which is about giving, but again, all corporates have their own causes that they are associated with, like girl child education. Some corporates are very specific to that. Now, if you saw during COVID, it did evolve, right? During COVID, vaccinations for employees and everybody else or the society was accounted for under CSR, which obviously earlier wasn't a part of it. So it is evolving based on the needs. So it does. And then also the research earlier was not part of CSR, which later became a part of CSR. So yeah.
All right, ma'am. And we have, I think we can take one last question for today. The question is, what would your tips or tricks be for a student wanting to enter the corporate responsibility field?
Like I mentioned, initially students need to start small by getting associated with any cause, volunteering, or be it in and around. There are a lot of NGOs who also have these weekend schools that they run. So if somebody feels they're good at any subject, and they can go and teach there and be associated, sorry, with that school. So there are a lot of schools that run on, under the bridge. So those kind of associations, if they are not very sure of the timing that they can ensure and commit to an NGO, because that's a far more structured way wherein you commit to that time and you have to, but you can volunteer for some hours, or even if you want to work out of home and just be associated. If you've seen all our events, there are many other NGOs also wherein communication is a bigger need, right? So if you're good at designing, you can associate with NGOs for that, or even with students. Like a lot of our students who are part of the Dolphin Tank or are into starting their own, need help with Canva. So there are many who teach them Canva, help them design their own brochures, marketing collaterals. So these are the ways where you can associate initially, and then obviously volunteer in turn.
Ma'am, we have one more question. It says, what emotional skill set would the students look into developing when they're going out to do such events and things like that?
Like I mentioned right before, it's not just the IQ, the EQ and SQ that really develops. Means you may go at a 0, but you may come back with a 70% when you are interacting with these students, as how less they have, but less is more there. So anything that they get and how they appreciate that and they make the most of it, it also makes us realize the value of what we have, right? And we may be taking it for granted. So it emotionally also, yes, at times when you suppose you go to an NGO which is with special children, you will be a little disturbed, but it also makes you very strong to see how happy they are when you go and interact and just have a dance with them, play some game. It's really rewarding, I must say, the experience.
Ma'am, Aryan says that I have been working towards supporting geriatric dogs with CUPA animal organization. So that's a big thing. Students,
yes.
please feel free to share your social projects. What are you
Aryan,
doing?
can we ask Aryan to just unmute and tell about his experience on
absolutely
what was it before and after? How does he feel being associated?
Aryan, can you do that for us? Aryan Barthakur, can we have you to share your experience with us? We have another question, ma'am. Okay, so Aryan saying he can't unmute for some reason, for some technical glitch, but it was a good thing that Aryan came up with the answer. So, ma'am, international universities do take into consideration the service learning things that we come up with.
Yes.
How does keeping oneself involved in such events help you get recommendations? Does Salam Bombay Foundation also help students get themselves these LOR or these extra credit points?
Yes,
Because
so
we
all
have many
NGOs
students
do.
who would like to go to abroad, so that would really enlighten them.
Right. So all students, all NGOs do. Even at Salam Bombay, we have many each year who come enroll for these volunteering programs, and they have these fundraising campaigns, and they get recommendation letters basis their association that the activities, events, or the time they've spent for this cause, and that's how. And but yes, these things really count when you're applying outside in universities, because that's what adds a lot of weightage And we've seen that because one of our sister concern NGOs is into giving these scholarships for international studies, and how the applications are processed and the weightage for this is what we've seen really counts. So yeah, to answer your question.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Any more questions, students? Any experiences that you would like to share? You'd find friends who would be there willing for such social projects of yours if you're volunteering and going out there. Anyone? All right.
So
Vidisha,
Dilshad has shared the
yes, ma'am.
social media handles with you in case
Yes,
students
I'll
want
be
to follow
doing
the
that.
Salam Bombay page. We could put that on chat.
Yes, just give me a second. I'll do that.
Sure.
Arnav, Krisha, would you like to share anything? We've gone ahead and shared the links of the social media handle of Salam Bombay on various social media sites.
Right. Just another suggestion or tip, like for the students, is I'm sure most of them have also created their LinkedIn page if they're interested in going abroad for studies or even for future for Indian thing. Right now, just create your LinkedIn page, add those kind of contacts, and also these experiences of extracurricular or these associations count a lot there as well. So you can build your portfolio profile. Okay. So I think I'm done, Dilshad.
All right. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, students, for the wonderful questions, and I hope you enjoyed the session. I would like to take this opportunity to express a heartfelt gratitude to Ms. Smriti for your time and your knowledge shared with all the participants present here today. This session has surely been beneficial for all of us to understand corporate social responsibility better. Thank you to all students, coordinators, and faculty members for joining us today. Have a great day ahead, and I hope we've learned a lot. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you very much, students.
Thank you, Sneha.
We'll be
Thank
drawing
you,
the
Dilshad.
session to an end. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Bye. See you.
Bye.
Yes.